Thank you for joining us for the launch of DC Public Schools Strategic Plan. My name is Olivia Jackson, and I'm a 9th grader at School Without Walls High School in Ward 2. I play tennis, and I'd also consider myself a scholar in math. I'm also a proud member of the Chancellor Student Advisory Board, which is made up of students from each high school across DCPS. And we were selected to represent critical student voices and provide feedback on a variety of issues. The Chancellor Student Advisory Board has shown me a variety of perspectives from other students across the district. These perspectives have given me a better understanding of what we as students need to improve, not only academically, but also as a community. As student leaders, we've had the opportunity to weigh in on key initiatives such as the technology plan, where we highlighted ways to make technology more accessible across all 8 wards. The Student Advisory Board has also played an important role in developing DCPS's strategic plan, which will guide the district even after we've all graduated. It's now my honor to introduce the Chancellor of DC Public Schools, Dr. Louis D. Farabee, who will talk more about the district's journey to this moment. But before that, please turn your attention to a short video outlining the strategic plan's framework. Thank you.
Louis Farabee, proud chancellor of schools. Our strategic plan is our 5-year capital. Proud chancellor of DC Public Schools. Our strategic plan is our 5-year capital commitment. This 5-year commitment ensures that students are succeeding academically, they're connected to their schools, and they're prepared for what's next. That is the transition from pre-K to kindergarten, elementary to middle school to high school, and ultimately post-secondary success. So for this plan, I'm really excited about our ability to build upon our rich legacy of academic excellence. DC Public Schools continue to be one of the fastest improving urban school districts in the nation. We have 10 years of progress and momentum that we want to build upon. DC Public Schools was on the edge of the science of reading, and we've seen the progress as a result of that work show up in our results throughout the last 5 years. And so what we want to do now is transition some of that success to mathematics. Part of this plan, we're building pre-K through 12 a new continuum of learning for mathematics, and we're asking everybody to be a math person. With our student populations that have historically not performed at the level we like, our equity imperative allows us to go deeper in our interventions, our supports for those student populations. That includes our students receiving special education services, our Black and Brown students, and also our multilingual learners. At DC Public Schools, we're extremely proud that we continue to lead the nation in our family and community engagement. It is our goal to ensure that we embed in everything we do, at every level, the voice, the perspectives of our parents and our partners. This allows us to ensure that our students are on a path of progress. Thank you for choosing DCPS. Good evening, Washington, D.C. Let's give another round of applause to Olivia for that wonderful introduction. I want to start this evening by thanking you all for making the trek out on this cold evening to celebrate DCPS. And I have a prediction for you. I'm 99.9% sure that we're going to school on time tomorrow. Now, I can't speak for Friday right now, but I can tell you that we're going to school on time tomorrow. But seriously, I'm really grateful to have you this evening to share and to learn and discuss our capital commitment, our strategic plan for the next 5 years. And as I think about this moment and where we are today, I think about where I was on last Friday. So Friday, I had the opportunity to be at the Lincoln Memorial with 5th graders and the entire student body and school community from Watkins Elementary School with Principal Berkowitz. And what students were doing, specifically the 5th graders, were reciting Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream speech. And they were paying tribute and honoring Dr. King and his vision for our nation and the change maker that he was and continues to be in our lives. And I think about that moment, and I'm really proud because we're in Dr. King's namesake library, right? and I am in a room full of change makers. And so I'm excited to share this moment with you as we shape the history, the direction of DC Public School. And as I look around the room today, I see so many that were a part of our journey in developing this strategic plan, and that's our village. I also see so many important supporters that will be recognized this evening, and I can't emphasize enough, we cannot do this work without the people in this room. I'm also proud that I'm joined with some of our biggest supporters. I got a dream team. Let me tell you about my dream team. So this evening, we have Mayor Bowser with us. We also have Deputy Mayor Kine. And we have Superintendent Grant. When we decide we're going to do something, this team, I'll tell you, is determined to do great things, but I could not do what we do for DC Public Schools in support of our students without this team, so thank you. As I think about many of our external partners we have in DC Public Schools, you get the feeling when you work with someone who's external so long, they start to feel like they're internal. And there's so many people that I could call on in that way, but I do want to recognize Dr. B.C. Oleyede, who is the CEO for DC Education Forward, and he's been a tremendous champion for DC Public Schools, but also helping us secure funding for the development of our strategic plan. So thank you, sir. I also want to recognize the Executive Director for the DC Education Fund, President. Give a round of applause to Jim Klein as well. Jim has been a tremendous leader in helping us think about our innovation. He's been really diligent and also helped us secure funding for planning and development of our strategic plan. And lastly, but not least, my crew. So tonight we have with us so many people that are part of the DCPS team. We have our students, our teachers, we have our amazing staff members, school-based. I see our principals in the room. I see our central service employees in the room. There's so many people that are part of the DCPS support system and who care deeply about education here in the district. So I thank you for your commitment. I thank you for your passion. I thank you for your support for the students and the residents of the District of Columbia. And so it's my hope this evening that we accomplish three things. So there's three things on our agenda. One is to connect. So we look around the room in this great village. We have so much expertise, so much talent, that I want connections to be made around our journey for the next 5 years. The second area we will spend our time a little bit more is going deeper in some discussions, and we will engage around what's in our strategic plan. So you get opportunity to hear from me, other leaders. There's a great panel discussion that we're going to have, but we're also going to have stations where you get to hear a little bit more about our strategic priorities. And then finally, this is an opportunity for us to celebrate. I am so, again, grateful for the village, the many supporters, and we're going to celebrate together on our excellence for our students and what's ahead for the next 5 years. Looking back, this has truly been a journey over the last 18 months. This has been a multi-phase engagement process where we've heard deeply and broadly from our stakeholders about what's important to them in DCPS. And in studying our data, there's several bright spots that we can point to that I am proud of, I know you're proud of. DCPS has made historic gains in enrollment. We should clap that up. And not only have we continued to grow since the pandemic, we're the only school district in the region that has grown in enrollment, and very few urban school districts have experienced the same. We've also seen historic gains in our graduation rate, with more students graduating prepared for college and career than ever before. And then finally, we're really excited that we are doing a phenomenal job, not only with hiring, but also retaining our highly effective educators that are serving our students well. But also in the data, I know that we have some challenges. We know that There's a recovery road ahead, especially with mathematics coming out of the pandemic. We know that we need to support our Black and brown students and close the opportunity gaps with their white counterparts. So we know we have some work ahead of us. But what's great is you gave us great ideas and feedback, and we were able to synthesize what you shared with us as important as we should be thinking about, and we were able to deliver the What We Heard report, which was issued in the winter prior to the close going into the winter break. Now, we've had the opportunity to distill down even more feedback, collaborate with the Mayor's Office, Deputy Mayor of Education, other DC government agencies, craft, refine, draft, refine, and now what we have is our roadmap for excellence for the next 5 years. And so as we think about what's ahead of the next 5 years, just want to share a little bit more about what's happened over the last 15 years and why the strategic plan has been an anchor for excellence in DC public schools. So if you think about where we've been the last 15 years, DCPS has been innovative, forward-thinking, and as a result of that, we've been able to overcome some of the barriers in achievement and social-emotional academic success. And what we see now is that we have an opportunity to further our position as one of the fastest growing and improving urban school districts in the nation. But one of the reasons we've been able to be so successful is we've kept our eyes on our strategic priorities. It has guided our investments, it has guided our efforts in a way that allowed us to achieve that success. And so I am very confident. I want you to hear my confidence. I am very confident that the capital commitment 2023-2028 will be just as transformative. And that is because of you and the ideas and thoughts that you share with us. And so as we think about our direction over the next 5 years, you should know that we are going to first anchor in our equity imperative. We know how important it is to ensure that we serve our students well, furthest from opportunity. What that means is we need to continue to refine our strategies on how we remove barriers, especially for our Black and brown students, our students receiving special education services, our multilingual learners in the district. And so we will continue to work with our equity imperative. We also know that we must continue to value our people, as our people have been a key part of the success in DC public schools. And so that's the professional learning experiences that you have. It's the career ladders that you have access to in DC public schools. And it's also the competitive compensation that we provide to our employees. But it is so much that we have in what we offer that we want to continue to honor the people that are doing the work. And then finally, as I said earlier, we cannot do this work without our village. And so we want to continue to lift up and honor the work of our partners. That's our nonprofits, that's our business, that's our local government agencies, those are our federal partners. There's so many that have been at the table supporting us lockstep with their sleeves rolled up, ready to work. And through the planning process, we expect to rely on our partners to help us with not only what's happening during the school day, but also to advance the work that is happening after school and extracurriculars as well. And so finally, there are 3 strategic priorities that you'll hear about tonight. One is students succeeding academically. When we think about students succeeding academically, we know we have some work to do around mathematics. You saw it in the video. Coming out of the pandemic, we know this was an area where we really missed the ability to have in-person instruction. And so we already started rich professional learning for our educators with the idea that all of our students will be prepared for algebra by grade 8. And that work starts with the new curriculum that we have in our pre-K classroom, other enhancements that are underway as well. Now, while we know we've got some work to do in math, we're still going to keep our eye on the work that we've done in English language arts, specifically around the science of reading. The second area is students feeling connected to school. We know when students feel connected to their school community, they're at their best. They're ready to come to school, they're excited to be there, and so we know how important it is to create welcoming learning environments where students feel honored and have the opportunity to be supported in very unique ways, especially coming out of the pandemic, we know that more students have asked for mental health supports. More students are in need of our high-impact tutoring and other supports. But also, as I mentioned earlier, we know what happens before and after school is also critical to students feeling connected to school. That is why in this plan you will see that we've committed to double the number of after-school enrichment opportunities for our middle grade students. Let's clap that up. And then finally, students prepared for what's next. When we think about what's next, you heard in the video from pre-K to kindergarten, elementary school to sixth grade. We've already done a lot of great work. You're going to hear about some of that work tonight at our sixth grade academy, to our students making that transition to middle school, which can be one of the most challenging phases for our young people, and then the transition from middle school to high school, and then graduating and from college and career beyond. This plan represents a strategy for excellence at every phase of DC Public Schools, specifically around our transition. So we are excited. I hope you share that same excitement about where we're going over the next 5 years and our roadmap for excellence. And you're going to get an opportunity to hear more about that in our panel discussion and also some of our deep dive conversations. But before we go further, someone is going to introduce a very special guest. And so please join me and welcome to the stage another member of my Student Advisory Council. Let's clap it up for Arisha, who will introduce our special guest.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Arisha Sheikh, and I'm a freshman at Jackson Reed High School in Ward 3. When I started high school, I knew I wanted to have an impact and got involved in clubs like Girls Who Code, Debate, and the Ultimate Frisbee team. I'm also really proud of my decision to join the Chancellor's Advisory Board. As a student leader, it's so important for our generation to be active members of the community, and the board helps me and my peers do just that. Being part of the board has empowered me to affect progress with changes my generation wants to see in our schools, community, and personal lives. I'm only halfway through my first year at Jackson Reed, but I can already see our community's dedication to getting it right. It means a lot that I get to begin my high school career during a time when we not only learn about our leaders' desire to support students, but see their dedication in action through initiatives like the Capital Commitment Plan. Thank you to our city, district, and school leaders who are listening to our voices and working to ensure that every student has what they need. I'm excited to be with you all today as we launch this plan, and I'm even more excited to announce our next speaker. It's my honor to welcome up to the podium our fearless mayor, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am really excited to be here. And so in the spirit of our students who went before me, I'll say I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the parent of a kindergartner at our neighborhood school in Ward 4. And I am very, very appreciative of all of the work that everybody assembled here has done to make sure that our students are received, loved, challenged, and highly educated in our schools. I believe that DCPS is a bright spot in the city's renaissance over the last 15 years and today. Furthermore, I firmly believe that our commitment to public education and to public safety is what, in fact, has transformed our city. And our commitment to public education and public safety is also what will ensure our comeback post-pandemic. So everybody in this room is important to that work, and I am just so grateful. And Chancellor Farabee, I want to thank you for your leadership of DC Public Schools. Please give the Chancellor a big round of applause. And I want to acknowledge all the members of our public education team, Deputy Mayor Kynes, Superintendent Grant, Dr. Eddington from the University of the District of Columbia, our new leader. I want to Rich Reyes-Gavlin, the Executive Director of DC Public Libraries, as well as other cabinet directors, Director Robert Matthews from CFSA, and Director Ayanna Bennett, Dr. Ayanna Bennett from DC Health. So please acknowledge our team. And as the Chancellor has already mentioned, our partners. DCPS is well known throughout the nation for innovating and for transforming the trajectory of public education in an urban environment. It's also known for working with students of all backgrounds to make sure that we're achieving together. And that work we should be proud of. We should continue to strive to be nationally recognized, but more importantly, locally recognized and appreciated by parents. And what I know is that parents, I do politics, so people vote, right? They vote with their feet. And when parents chose to come back to our schools, when they weren't choosing as quickly to go back to other districts, it demonstrated to me that we're getting things right in terms of instruction and in terms of how they feel about their schools. Understanding where we're going in our schools with this 5-year commitment is also important for parents who are choosing every day educational opportunities for their students. And I am very confident, as you said, Chancellor, that with feedback and engagement from all of our stakeholders, that you have landed on the right priorities that helps parents choose. It also demonstrates to funders how serious we are and that we want to continue to innovate. And I should note that in every urban and cities across America, budgets get tighter. And so we are entering a season where competing for education dollars is a different season than it has been for the last 15 years. And sometimes the things that get less attention are the things that are less tested and less true. And so innovation is on the chopping block. And so we're going to stand with the Chancellor, right, in arguing for those innovation dollars, aren't we? We're going to stand with the Chancellor in arguing for the people necessary to make innovation happen, aren't we? That deserves a lot of attention. And the reason that I say that is because nothing that has happened in the transformation of our schools has happened by accident. Good people, smart people have been at the table to advance programs that have helped change kids' lives. And so that is what is important to me. People have asked me, a lot of questions about what's important to me is being mayor. And one of the most important things to me is the system that we have put together in our city to ensure accountability for our progress. And to invest in every neighborhood across all 8 wards. And that is how we will attract new residents. That is how we will keep growing our school system. And that is how we're going to graduate students that have a lot of options when they leave DC public schools and be able to come back to this city if they go away and raise their own families here. That's what we're all about. And so I want to thank you for what you're doing and know that you have my 100% support. Thank you.